Hi, folks. Here I am. I'm just organizing my page so I can see your comments and then I can see all my notes. So here we are. This is very exciting. I'm Elaine Marolakos Edelson and with Astrology Mojo. And I hope you're feeling great and excited to be alive. You see my little icon at the bottom of the page? I had fun making that. Okay, so in the next 40 minutes, I'm going to be talking about the Mars in retrograde, first in the sign of Aquarius from June 26th through August 13th, and then Mars retrograde in the sign of Capricorn through August 27th. So hang on one second, I just got to get my drink and make sure that this is plugged in properly. Okay, I'm going to cover what Mars in Aquarius means and in Capricorn, and how to navigate this Mars retrograde, the do's and don'ts. Then I'll answer some questions and give each sign and rising sign a very short little reading. So some housekeeping first. Okay, to listen to this event, make sure to click the speaker icon below this video. And you can also expand the video if you wanted to. I'm not sure if you're watching on your computer or on your phone. And make sure your volume is up. Okay. So I will be taking questions in about 15 minutes or so. Just note that I'm only taking questions on the live event, but not in the replay. Now, if you've seen my previous Facebook Live events, I've been talking about the solar eclipse in Cancer that happened on July 12th. We're still in the energy of it, and it goes all the way through September for a lot of folks, unless you have Cancer planets in your chart. And then I was talking about the lunar eclipse in the previous Facebook Live event that happened on July 27th, 4 degrees Aquarius. And that also will be happening through I would say the end of September for a lot of people. You know what? I just noticed. There we go. I'm going to turn on my little mister because it smells good. So on Saturday, I want you to join me on Saturday, 10 p.m. I'm sorry, no, 10 a.m. I'll be in bed. 10 p.m. What am I saying? 10 a.m. on Saturday, August 4th. I will be talking about the upcoming Leo solar eclipse that happens on August 11th, 18 degrees of Leo. So please join me then on Saturday, another live stream. Now, so to catch up, make sure you do listen to those Facebook Live recordings that I've already made. And then you'll be caught up about all this crazy, happy stuff that's going on out there in the world. All right, quick reminder. The planets don't do anything to you. We live in a cooperation with our cosmos. When the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that. And as I said earlier, I am going to be taking questions, so have your questions ready. Hi, we've got, hi, Teresa's here, and Tony, Elizabeth, and Samuel. Excellent. To get a private session with me, I'm only giving a few more through August 11th at this special pricing. So I want you to click the Buy Now button that's at the top page. There, I did get some messengers, like Mercury flew into my window. What do you call it? IM, the messenger thing in Facebook. That and emails that the link wasn't working. I'm so sorry for that. But darn this retrograde. Okay. But it's working now. So click the Book Now button at the top of the page under the banner, and you can schedule a private session with me for 30 minutes. And we're going to go deep and we're going to go fast. And I've had so many so far, and I'm starting to lose my voice. And people are loving them. And they're really helping people. So please take advantage of this opportunity. Okay, now some definitions are in order. Let me just refer to my notes. Here's what I want you to see. Here, I made this graphic. Isn't that cool? There's a Mars retrograde, and the RX is the astrological symbol for retrograde. And I think in the medical world, it's medicine or, the local pharmacy. Well, you can look at this as your remedy if you'd like to. And hi, Coral. What a pretty name. And then I made this. This is what the glyph of Aquarius looks like. And you'll notice the wavy lines top and below. And what that represents is the currents of change, the transformation, water, wind, and now in the modern age, electricity. So that's Mars retrograde, and I'll come back to that later. And the symbol of Mars in astrology, and the RX representing retrograde, and then the Aquarius symbol. Now, when any planet goes retrograde, I talked about this in previous episodes, when any planet goes retrograde, it looks as if it's moving backwards in the sky, but it's really not. From our position on Earth, something that is moving faster, two airplanes, here's the best way to describe it, two airplanes in the sky, both going at the same speed, but one is really far away. So the one that's further away from us, from our perspective, is going to look like it's moving slower than the one that's going fast. I mean, the one that's closer looks like it's going faster. So this retrograde phenomenon that we're experiencing in astrology is to really help you go within. That is, the Latin term means to step back. So I want you to step back. Hello and thank you, says Coral. And you're welcome, thumbs up. So typically we go from a retrograde in Mars approximately every 2 years. And now, so think back to 2016. What were you experiencing around that time? Any new business that you initiated might now be coming back for review, but I'm going to get into that more. So now we know that what the Mars symbol looks like and what retrograde looks like. What Mars represents, remember, Mars doesn't make you do anything, but when, one astrologer put it so well, and she said that in astrology, the planets help you to plan it and tell you what time it is. So when Mars is retrograde, you're looking at, well, what it represents, first of all, is action, being active, and that could be passive or proactive. It represents the head and the ears, the blood system, as in anemia or infections or fevers or inflammation in the body. It also represents sex, sexuality, and sports, athletics, cars and machinery, war and aggression, survival instincts, and it ties into the base lower chakra of red and moving your energy to get things going, get your blood going. We hope not boiling, right? It represents desire. And, in essence, Mars is all about how you act, what motivates your actions. And hi, Shannon, and Jennifer joined as well. So with Mars right now being the closest it's been to the Earth since 2003. Before that, Mars was close to us approximately 60,000 years ago. Wow. Okay, so right now it's 35.8 million miles away, and it's getting hotter, isn't it? I mean, this is what it represents in the Earth right now. We're looking at climate change. We're looking at a lot of fires in places that don't typically have fires. Heat is rising in areas that don't typically get that warm. So what's happening for us internally? That's what we want to look at. Well, we need a few more definitions before we can keep going. Okay, Aquarius is an air sign, and it represents freedom, humanitarianism, higher technology, currents, as I said earlier. And let me just show you that picture again for those who just joined us. There's Aquarius, and here's Mars. And so currents as in water, air, and electricity, space, astrology, and the art of the deal in business. It represents the avant-garde nature of life and people, being a revolutionary, being aloof, and it also represents music. So all these definitions you may not remember. You can always refer back to this particular video. But just understand that it doesn't matter if you are an Aquarian, Aquarius rising or moon sign, you're going to feel these energies. Now, Mars is retrograde in Aquarius to August 13th, and then retrogrades back into the constellation of Capricorn, the Earth sign of Capricorn, from August 13th through the 28th of August. And then it goes direct through September 10th, and then we're back into moving forward. So Capricorn represents stoicism, ambition, the knees, the joints, the teeth, the structure of your body, your bones. And also Capricorn is about expansion through denial. I know that sounds extreme and backwards, but sometimes the Capricorn energy withholds pleasure or gratification until it feels as if it has a reward system in place. It has earned it. So I'm just going to adjust my monitor here a little bit. Thank you. And so when Mars is retrograde in Aquarius, we're going to be looking more at the technology of things, about your feelings of freedom. And we're going to see this on the stage of the world as well. People wanting freedom, people wanting to use technology to heal, whether that be vibrational healing or in medicine, or it can be through astrology as well. Then when we move Mars retrograde into Capricorn, it's going to be about your work practices. What's your ambition like? Are you leaning toward addiction? Because Capricorn energy can move into denial very quickly and look to medicate itself with carbohydrates. That's crackers, anything crunchy, anything that numbs the feeling. So you want to be careful of these things in the Mars retrograde. Now, as I said, everyone's going to feel this energy. And let me refer to my notes. Oh, I want you to look back, as I said earlier, look back to 2016, specifically April through June of 2016. What was going on in your life at that time? We have the same energy happening now. And did it deal, and it, depending on your chart and where it landed in your chart, you will have different topics. But as an example, in my world, and I'm a Capricorn rising, in my world, I was going through a lot of emotional angst about how do I move forward in business? What do I want to be doing in business? And I had a membership site at the time, which I decided to dissolve. I had a huge membership list, and then it started to incrementally get smaller and smaller. And I thought, well, you know, do I value this? Am I putting my energy in places? Remember, Mars is about energy and your actions. Am I putting my energy and actions in place where I'm going to get something back? Am I going to see a return on investment? So this is what you want to look at right now in your life. Mars can bring up, Mars in retrograde can bring up long-held frustrations. And suddenly you're going along and you're working and you're doing your thing, and then Mars goes retrograde and you start thinking, how many times am I going to do this thing and not see the results that I want? Or how many times are they going to ask me to help out and I don't get any thanks for it, or I'm not compensated for it? So the things that come back are things that you didn't originally deal with. So it may not be anything new, but you want to just check. Okay, other things, and I want you to take notes too, because this will help, and then get your questions ready, because I'm going to be taking questions in a few minutes. Okay, Mars in retrograde can also dampen your sex life for a myriad of reasons. Maybe you've just been working so hard and you're too tired. Maybe it's a chemical imbalance that you have, or a hormonal imbalance that you have. Or maybe you have been suddenly separated from your partner. Or perhaps there's no one in your life and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to, twiddle my thumbs and, oh, why bother? Why bother having pleasure without someone there? I might as well just binge watch a TV show with things that explode. Because that's also a Mars and Aquarius thing, is let's watch war, let's see zombies get killed. Let's see stuff, explode. And sometimes all you have to do is just watch the news or read the news. And I don't a lot of times because it's the same information over and over again. But if you are looking to get riled up about something and frustrated and work out your frustrations without taking it out on anyone, you might want to actually look at what's going on the stage of the world. All right. When Mars is retrograde, if you've suffered an illness that stopped your romance, now is when you start to focus on, let me get back into shape. Let me work on these things. Remember, retrograde is about stepping back and going in to find out what you really need. And we talked about Mercury in retrograde, the last Facebook Live event, and that's about communication. What you're thinking, how you form synapses. Mars is the action to take. Well, in a Mars retrograde, I recommend not taking a whole lot of action. It's about going in and deciding, how do I feel right now? Why am I so frustrated? Or why am I feeling despondent? And that's perfectly natural. So don't beat yourself up over, some people suffer over having suffered. It's not going to help you. But now you can start to reclaim your power and that spark that you have by doing it differently. Typically if you are someone who moves into the world to act aggressively or with a lot of confidence, now you might be looking at, should I have done that? Let me think about that. I don't know if I feel that confident in doing this thing. And if you're typically someone who is laid back, Mars retrograde brings you out of your shell. It's kind of an interesting thing. It depends on where Mars is in your chart and what you do with that information. Now, this has to be said for people who are listening on any level. If you are in any type of abusive relationship at work, at home, in your neighborhood, with friends who you think are friends, but anyone who abuses you is not a friend, family members, this is the time to set that boundary and walk away. Set the boundary. If you have to, put out a restraining order. But I don't want to see anyone have to think it's okay. It's just who they are. They blow off steam that way. I had a client years ago who she said her husband was a weekend warrior. He was great all week. He worked hard all week. And on the weekends, he would get drunk and things would break. And I thought, that's not healthy. So if you have any type of anything like that in your life, no. Just that's the word, no. Now, Mars in retrograde is really, if you do have that going on in your life, this is the time to examine, why would you allow this abuse? Why? That's the question. Why do you allow something? So think about that. Mars in retrograde is not the time to purchase machinery or to build something. If you're someone who likes to build a play set for the kids, or you're, putting a bicycle together, parts will be missing, or you might miss the gear. Or if you buy something, especially lawnmowers, anything with a motor or electricity. Remember, Aquarius is electric and Mars is about action and machinery. So appliances with intricate electrical systems, this is not the time. If you have to, for whatever reason, get insurance. Or save the receipts and make sure there's an extended warranty policy just to keep you covered. Now, this is not also the time. I'm going to give you the don'ts first, and then I'll do the do's. This is not the time to sue anyone. That which is initiated in a Mars retrograde for the purpose of defense, and that includes suing someone, it doesn't go anywhere. It falls flat and you don't get what you need. So if you can hold off till the end of August, if you are not that, I'm big on, I've never sued anyone, but if you are an attorney or you need to acquire an attorney, now is the time to research, do your due diligence, get your information, see what the strategies can be, how you can proceed. Remember, Mars is about action. Right now, Mars retrograde is about inaction, but research. And following through on your gut feeling to, this person has pushed me way too far, or this person, I have a client I did a reading for 4 days ago who actually is going through or will be going through possible litigation. But my client wanted to do things very smoothly without having to sue. So the attorney recommended some steps to take. First, a letter that will be written, and then a phone conversation. So you see, all these things are possible if it's ongoing. And then if you don't get the response that you want, then starting the end of August, go for it. Hi, Kimberly. Man, 100%. Walsh A. Kimberly. Lonnie Richardson. Hi, O'Hearn. Sometimes people have code names and I don't always know if it's the first name or... Okay, now you want to go in and pinpoint why certain people or situations get on your last nerve. And then once you pinpoint what that is, I want you to keep going and look at your own body. Now, Mars in your body is all about, as I said earlier, if you're just tuning in, Mars is about how you act. Mars retrograde is about going within to find out the strategies for acting in the future. And if you have any kind of frustration coming up for you right now, the littlest thing could be, I've dealt with this neighbor and I just blow them off, or they're fine, or everything's good, but now they're just going to get on your last nerve. And if they do, you want to ask yourself, it's not about going out and yelling at them or coming out passive aggressively at someone. We don't want to do that. We want to take the higher road. You want to be the adult in the room. Okay? This is what you want to do. And if there's something that's frustrating you, you need to ask yourself, why? Why are they bothering you so much? Is it your diet? My husband said this morning, I think I just need to cut out sugar. I've been frustrated for a few days. He's also an Aquarius moon sign. And with the Mars in Aquarius retrograde, with the lunar eclipse in Aquarius right on his moon, he's feeling a little, antsy, a little frustrated. And so he's meditating more. He's getting up and walking. He actually took a nap yesterday. So he's doing things to really help himself that he wouldn't normally do, because he wouldn't normally be this frustrated. So you want to look at the opposites of things. If people are posting, you did get a restraining order. Okay, yeah, do that and set those boundaries, because now is not the time. And empower yourself. Empower yourself to say, why would I allow this thing? And what else are we looking at? Oh, putting more compassion into the world with boundaries. When Mars moves into the retrograde sign of Capricorn, Capricorn is all about setting boundaries, because they usually don't. They're oh, come on, give it to me, I'll take it on. Yeah, no worries. I know you're frustrated. It's okay. I'll do it. No. And you want to be able to put yourself in the position of power by inhaling and exhaling and setting up an energetic boundary in front of you. And, I usually don't advise having surgery in any retrograde. Of course, if you have to do it, just be very clear about what you want, or that there's a list in paperwork. If you're giving birth, you'll have a plan. The plan may not always work out because the baby has other plans. But any kind of surgery, it's really not the best time, because things get missed, or people get more distracted. So I want you to be clear about what you need. Surround yourself with a bubble and stop buying into melodrama. People who get stuck in a negative situation, whether it be, this recurring toothache, and then that's the chatter. I've had this toothache for, 3 months, and okay, well, let's do something about it. And if we happen to be in a Mercury in retrograde and a Mars in retrograde and a Saturn in retrograde, and your bones, your teeth, things are not going well, you want to ask yourself, am I ready to have this resolved? What does it represent? Teeth and digits represent the details in life. You want to make the correlation between your body, mind, and spirit. And if there is a recurring issue happening with your body, it's going to come up in a Mercury in retrograde. If there's a recurring issue happening between you and a relationship, business relationship, friend relationship, family relationship, it's about you. You are the magnet for everything in your life. So instead of getting stuck in the details and the drama, I want you to stop and take a deep breath and stop projecting out into, they did this to me. That's happening because they're this way, or they're stupid, or they're, we want to stop that. That's the melodrama. And I talked about this in the last Facebook Live. If you're in any situation where there is melodrama, the distinction between drama and melodrama is drama is what you've come here to work out. Own your stuff. Own it. Melodrama is when you keep rehashing your stuff and going over your stuff, and then you form synapses in your brain that produce electrical impulses and generate a frequency. So if you generate the frequency of abuse, if you generate the frequency of trauma, you're going to keep attracting it. Okay, so how do we stop this? Take a deep breath right now. I want you to take a deep breath and exhale, everybody. And then I want you to realize that you have power. You have power. And to utilize that power by saying no, by setting boundaries, by being clear about what you really want. So that's what the retrogrades are good for, really, to understand that before you initiate any business in a retrograde, in this Mars retrograde, a financial business, partnership, or any kind of contract, now is when you need to stop, settle, go in, see what it's all about. And I'm going to take some questions in a minute when I'm done talking about what retrogrades are good for, especially Mars retrograde. It's a great time to reflect on your behavior, not their behavior, not what the client did to you, the ex-boyfriend did to you, the ex-boss or the current boss is doing to you now. It's your behavior. Mars retrograde is essential in determining what motivates you and how to act, and to go within and alter your urges and your impetus. If someone always steps on my toes and I say, hey, ow, and I smack them, it's only going to produce more angst and anger and worry. So let's just stop this and take a deep breath and say, why do I have the same response to something, or reaction? It's actually a reaction to something that is negative. And that includes you're working with people at the office and they look at you sideways and they say to you, and they might be a superior, and they might say to you, oh, is that all you did in an hour? Okay. And with the facial expressions. And so passive aggressive behavior is very dominant right now. Just read the news. You don't need to put more of that energy into the world. You can own your stuff. You can think about how you feel about something, and then you can approach someone in a very compassionate way. Excuse me, I'm just wondering, blah, blah. I would like to work out this issue. I would like to work out this situation, but not in an aggressive way. Okay, so, folks, with all these retrogrades, 5, coming up on 6 retrogrades, we're going to be ending some in September. But right now, it's the perfect time to get a private session with me, 30 minutes. Go to the Book Now button at the top of the page. I only have a few left for the special pricing. And I'm going to go deep, and we're going to go deep and wide. And we're going to discover what the patterns are. And I'm going to give you something to do to end the pattern so that you can focus on what's healthy for you, and you can get back on track and ignite that spark that you are. Okay. Now, does anyone have any questions while I take a drink of water? Any questions? Okay. No questions? Any answers? Does anybody have any answers? You have all the answers. Don't you know that? You just have to access them. I show you the door. You open it and you go in. Ta-da! All right. No questions right now? Okay, so what I do have, and just be aware that I'm only taking questions during the live recordings and not during the replay. So pass that along to friends and family. So what I'm going to do is now give a mini tiny reading to each of the sun and rising signs regarding this particular Mars in retrograde. Oh, Vicky. Hi, Vicky. She does have a question. Thank you. My natal Mars is in Capricorn in the 3rd house. How does this retrograde impact me? Okay, first of all, congratulations for knowing all that information. That's so cool. Thank you. All right. Mars in retrograde in the 3rd house. You have Mars in Capricorn. So you're really tough. You're tough. But you don't have to be that tough, especially when it comes to people who have Mars in Capricorn and Mars in Cancer and the moon in Capricorn and the moon, well, no, not the moon in Cancer, but the moon in Capricorn, Mars in Capricorn or Cancer. They have a tough time dealing with anger and their sensitive feelings. So during this time, it's an excellent time to get counseling, to do automatic writing, to practice techniques like EFT. Does that make sense to you? EFT is emotional freedom technique, and it's a tapping where you start here and you name the issue. You can go online and research on YouTube. They'll have loads of free videos that you can do. And I think it's important that you focus, Vicky, you focus on when you were younger, because retrogrades harken back to your youth. So you want to ask yourself, were you allowed to express yourself when you were younger? Were you allowed to get angry in front of authority figures when you were younger? So this is the perfect time to go in and write about that and to look at, examine, and discover these kinds of things. Oh, and Vicky is also a Capricorn sun, so it all makes sense. Good. Well, during this retrograde in Capricorn, because you're a Capricorn sun, that before you take action on anything in business or with things that are important to you, you want to, again, as I told everyone, step back and really become your own personal assistant. Give yourself time, downtime, play more. Let me go through the sun and rising sign little blurbs I have for folks that I'll also be posting on Instagram. So Aries with Mars retrograde. Mars is your muse. Mars is what guides your celestial being. So you might be feeling more in the flow now, less restricted, especially when it comes to friends or associations and acquaintances, friends, former lovers. They might show up now. Now, when they do, you may ask yourself, gee, well, this is fun. And they're back. But when Mars goes direct at the end of August, you may think, am I done? Am I done with these people? I think I'm done with this group. I think I'm done with these people. But when they come, they can introduce other things to you. So stay open. Taurus, Mars is asking you to step back in career and examine how you'd like to move forward at the end of August. Or if you are retired or you're thinking of retiring, what does that picture look like? No matter what, map out the variables on paper before you act. Gemini or Gemini rising, this is also about rising signs, contracts, travel, the law, legal issues, they can be delayed right now. Now, this is most definitely coupled with a loss that you might have experienced in the past year. And that can be, maybe you were downsized at the office, maybe you retired, maybe you divorced or someone passed away. Or you're dealing with financial contracts that deal with estate matters, or you changed your jobs or you moved away. So there's something you left behind and you're moving forward now. So it's not the time to really pursue, but definitely pore over the fine print before you sign anything. And I would, if you can hold off till the end of the end of August, please do. Cancer and Cancer rising, somebody owes you money, right? Somebody owes you money, and that, or you're not feeling too sexy right now. You're feeling more subdued or removed. But let's talk about the cash part, because the other part is something that's timely for you to just relax and rest and take care of your body. But if you did business with someone back in 2016 and then suddenly they dropped you like a hot potato and they forgot to pay you, well, or the government or your insurance company withheld more and didn't pay you and you didn't get that check. This might also have to do with inheritance as well, or estate planning. So I just want you to be aware of that and start tallying up what you're owed. And it could be energetic too. Maybe you gave to someone some information and they have not reciprocated, and that's okay. You don't need to pursue them. You need to let go of expectations about them giving back to you. So it's about going in. Leo and Leo rising sign, you and your spouse or significant other are in for a huge surprise. Now, what that is depends on you and your chart and what's going on in your life. But life is changing right now, big time for you, especially with this solar eclipse we're having in Leo coming up on August 11th. We're already in the energy of it, but it's time to talk about your possibilities. What are the possibilities? Is it time to expand the family? Is it time to go through empty nest? Is it time to move? All these things are going to come up. If you're single, it is not the time to pursue anyone, even at a picnic fling. All right, go have fun. It's okay. But don't expect it to last when retrograde goes direct. And you're going to be looking at, I want you to go within and find the real reasons that you're not in a relationship or there's dissension in your relationship. If you need to break from a romantic partner or a business partner, then just be really honest and real and wait until the end of August to make any declarations. Now, Virgo, first and foremost, there's no speeding on the road, not allowed. And it's really not the best time to get your car fixed or maintained if possible. Just double check, make sure if they change the oil, look under the car 2 hours later to see if it's leaking. Things like that. Electrical equipment will be hinky. You can expect that. And as long as it's not life-threatening, you're cool. It just takes guarantees, warranties, and having to go back and have things fixed. But readings regarding your health may not be very accurate. So if you have a lab test done, if you have any kind of dental x-rays done, things like that may not be clear. So you might want to wait on medical exams or testing, especially with your eyes. Remember, Mars represents the head, the blood, the eyes, and fevers, allergies, infections, headaches, and if possible, take it easy as much as you can right now and research your solutions. And if you're a woman, I want to advise upping your level of probiotics to keep the infections and inflammation down. Libra and Libra rising, you're undergoing a transition with children, romance, and problem solving right now. And it's really key not to react to situations, but to seek your inner feelings first, then discuss, but always come back to your intuition. Because your head's going to be telling you one thing and your heart's going to be saying something else. And you're going to be looking at your kids or your lover or your grandkids or the fact that there's no one in your life and you're thinking, why? And I'm so sad. Okay, well, the transition needs to occur. So let's go in and move any pent-up anger or frustration that you have with creativity. Go play, sing, dance, write, paint, jazz hands. And watch out for extremes. Okay, thank you. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Your home life is changing big time. This could be business or it could be mother issues, real estate matters, moving, buying, selling, renting. Maybe you're setting up a home office and working part-time. It could mean that as you're downsizing, you're finding more balance in life. And it could be that you have time now to deal with those family annoyances. What's been bothering you? What's been the major issue? And if it's about building or restructuring or doing anything construction-wise in your house, you might want to hold off a little while if you can, because things will get a little hinky in this series of retrogrades. But you want to be able to listen now and be open to what's happening in the home. Sagittarius, Sag rising, what do you want to communicate? What is it that you want to say? From teaching to learning to training, upgrading your bio, your resume, now it's time to get clear on who you are, who you're about, what you really want to be expressing, and about who you are becoming. And there might be some need possibly to smooth out some wrinkles with siblings, or you might start relying on your siblings more, or finding reasons to get frustrated because of your siblings. So you just want to pay attention to that and come back to center and always communicate without cynicism and without sarcasm, because sarcasm's place is on the stage for entertainment purposes, not for honest, real communication. Capricorn, how do you want to make your money right now? Capricorn rising, what do you want to consider valuable? What's wasting your time? You want to make a list of how to proceed when this retrograde is over at the end of August. And your self-worth is not measured by the dollar. And so I want to see you list your talents all in order. Everything that you feel is a gift and valuable to you. That's one of your resources. And I want you to hold off before you invest in anything big until the end of August. And Aquarius, you are burning the candles at both ends and in the middle. You are melted toast right now. So pace it. You might feel wired, tired, excited, going to extremes, jumping because the doorbell rang. So just let's slow it down and research those amino acids like L-theanine and GABA and other types of amino acids and PS100 that can calm down the electricity that's moving through your body right now. And, using technology is great for you. With a Mars in retrograde, it's going to help you settle and remove a lot of anxiety. But then at some point, I want you to shut off all the technology and just meditate, rest, get quiet. And your ankles and blood system and your head, you might have headaches or eye issues are coming up right now. So just be kind and love yourself. Pisces, last but not least, Pisces rising, you need to regroup big time. You are exhausted and you're going through a huge transmutation. Transformation is when someone gives you an idea and you make a change. Transmutation is when your cellular biology is altering. So this is the time for counseling to get clear on your feelings and especially recurring frustrations. What's the real issue? What is it? This is what you need to discover. And don't be surprised if people shy from you or that you shy from them. And those people that you've put off for a while, they want to come back. They want to be your friends. They want to help you. And I advise that you look for the core and then relax. Stop overcommitting. Stop promising that you're going to do something when you really don't want to, and just breathe through it. Now, again, to book a private session with me, now's the time. I'm only offering this special pricing, $97 through August 11th. And you can book the reading now, but you don't have to have the reading until later in August. And that's cool too, because all these energies are lasting through September. And let me I see Fiona has shown up. Hi, Fiona. Garth is back. And let's see. Fiona says, I'm an Aries born, Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon. Okay, so if you have trouble focusing, I'm not surprised. What you want to do is make a list of 3 things only to do a day. Can you see on the camera? 3 things only. And then focus on each one of those things. And as you move through your day, don't stockpile just because you know you can, because you are off the ground. You feel like you float above the ground because you never stop moving. So Fiona, get some rest. Get some rest, relax, and it doesn't all have to be done right now, right? And this is everything right now. All these eclipses and all these retrograde planets are bringing up everything all at once. So it's like throwing a pizza up in the air and you're saying, ah, okay, I can take another question. Okay, I can be as blunt and short with you as you like. Is it time for you to walk away? Oh, let me see. I'm not reading every single comment, so if you've, given me a lot of things to read, I'm not reading all these things, but you're the person who put out the restraining order. Well, that alone tells me you need to walk away. Why are you waiting? Walk away. Why would you allow something negative in your life when you can have joy and bliss and peace and prosperity? And it doesn't come easily all the time. We have frustrations. We're going to fall down. We're going to trip. We're going to skin our knees. We're going to get hurt. But the point is to get back up, find a support system, a group of people that can help you, and also who will show you and mirror back to you how worth it you are. Okay, let's end on that positive note. And thank you, everyone. Oh, Jennifer says, these are wonderful sessions. Thank you. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Another you're welcome. And, Garth, Pisces outlook during the retro. Well, I think I just read it. And so you can go back to the recording, but you basically need time to regroup to see how you feel about the frustrations that are coming up. What's really real for you, and what direction do you want to go in? So folks, this has been fun. We're coming back on Saturday. Me, myself, and I, and all my angels, are coming back on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and we're going to be talking about the Leo eclipse that's coming up on August 11th. So stay tuned then, and remember, questions are only for live broadcasts, and to go to the top of the page, Book Now button, and I'm giving a special session for 30 minutes, and I'm going to give you everything I am, everything you need in 30 minutes. And you'll walk away with tools and things that will actually help you. All right, we're going to break now. Thank you so much for being here and for joining me and for your comments and questions. As always, I wish you peace. Be sparkly, stay present, and I will see you on Saturday.